Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dust on Gaming on YouTube, here with a YouTube-only video. So, I'm promising for the last week or so that I was going to play Tron before Dominaria gets released. Um, so here it is. We played Tron before, usually the green-black or the green-white variety. The mono-green version has been kind of the weapon of choice for Tron users lately. Those of you that aren't familiar with Tron by now probably shouldn't be playing Modern, but those of you that are new to Modern, Urza's Mine plus Urza's Power Plant plus Urza's Tower. We get each of those into play. Instead of tapping for one colorless, they either tap for 3 colorless in Tower's case, 2 in Power Plant's case, and 2 in Mine's case. Allows you to do ridiculous things like playing Karn Liberated on turn 3. So this deck is entirely predicated on getting these 3 lands into play with Expedition Map and Sylvan Scrying. So effectively you have 12 copies of every land. You also have Chromatic Star, Chromatic Sphere, and Ancient Stirrings to help you look for them. And then you try to play a bunch of bombs. You have Karn Liberated, Wormcoil Engine, and Worldbreaker all theoretically can come down on turn 3. Walking Ballista and Ulamog are also your additional bomb threats. Walking Ballista gets extremely large, helps to control creature decks. Ulamog comes down, exiles a couple permanents, chomps away at your opponent's library. And then this deck has a ridiculous amount of sweepers. You have 2 Ugin the Spirit Dragon, you have Ola's Dust, and Oblivion Stone. All can serve as sweepers in different matchups. The only matchups where they are not the most effective is Ola's Dust and Ugin are not great against Affinity and the slowly fading Eldrazi decks. Beyond that, you have a couple pieces of Dismember for an interaction, and you have Ghost Quarter, Sanctum of Ugin, and Horizon Canopy as your kind of bullet lands to go fetch with Expedition Map and Sylvan Scrying. Horizon Canopy allows you to get white mana. It also allows you to draw a card. Sanctum of Ugin allows you to double up on your large colorless threats, and Ghost Quarter to disrupt either opposing Tron decks or other decks like things like Celestial Colonnade, Search for Azcanta, kill a creature land, that kind of stuff. Sideboard. Couple surgical extractions, pair well with Ghost Quarters against the Tron the mirror match, also decent against Valakut. Nature's Claims, mainly for Blood Moon, can also serve as a hedge against other things such as Ensnaring Bridge, or can come in against Burn for life gain, also can kill Eidolon of the Great Revel, good against Affinity, which you have Ugins and Ola's Dust, which aren't great. Relic of Progenitus for decks like Hollow One, Dredge. Can also come in against control decks in a pinch, but I think you have better cards in that matchup. Ghost Quarter, once again, pairs with the surgical extractions against certain matchups. Life from the Loam, this is good against people trying to break up your Tron combo. Also pairs well with Ghost Quarter, kind of locking your opponent out of the game. Warping Whale, this is an interesting card. Counters sorceries, things like Crumble to Dust, things like Supreme, well not Supreme Verdict, but Escape Shift, things along those lines that can be a problem. Spatial Contortion, another early interaction spell against fast creature decks, and then Thought Knots and Drag Tusks when you're trying to play a more mid-range game against people trying to disrupt your mana with Fulminator Mages and Ghost Quarters and Fields of Ruin. Thought Knot can be disruption against combo opponents, and then Drag Tusk is pretty good against Burn, and then grindy matchups like Jund. So deck is pretty decently positioned. Been a bit since we played it, so here we go. Tron is one of those decks that, when decks like Storm and such are kind of fading, it's in pretty good shape. When decks like Storm is pretty bad. I'm trying to think. Burn's not the greatest of matchups, although you can certainly win. Ad Nauseam, kind of touch and go. Mainly the really, really fast decks like Affinity, or not Affinity, Then it can be a little bit tricky. Guess I'd like to play first. Alright, so what does this hand do? This hand's got effectively 2 pieces of Tron and 2 cantrips, so I guess we'll keep it. Hopefully we'll find another piece of Tron off these spheres and such. Okay, so no expedition maps or nothing, so hopefully we'll get turn 3 Tron, but it's kind of unlikely. This hand might have been a mulligan. See what our opponent's up to here. Basic island doesn't tell us a whole lot. Could be Blood Moon deck. Max for. Alright. Sack this for green. Huh. So I could play a Tron piece here. Get more inclined to run this out. Play this sphere. So earliest we're gonna have turn 3 Tron. Opponent now could have counter spells up, which is unfortunate. Alright, so cycle this for a green. Coil engine. Cycle this for a green. Another Sylvan Scrying. Try here, but this is probably going to get... Oh. Alright, so let's get a mine, because you always want to search for tower last. Play out mine, pass the turn. No counterspell, I'm guessing that means they're on storm. Nope, light control. Alright. Usually a pretty decent matchup, although they could certainly find something like Spreading Seas to knock us off Tron. Bottom, top. Okay. And we just draw a tower. Seems pretty good. Tron players are lucky, don't you know? World Breaker here, knock them off some mana. Blow up your untapped land, I guess. Not that it particularly matters. Just let it go, so they don't even have path. Ouch. Guess I'd like to let this go. This is Tron doing Tron things. Sure. Someone's crying. Got power plant again. Sorry, tower. Play out tower here. Attack with World Breaker. Put you to that to play out Worm Coil Engine. Definitely looks like we're up against blue-white control. Yes, I'm sure. You have like Cryptic Command or something here. Settle the wreckage would be kind of annoying, I guess. seriously have settled the wreckage? Wow. Okay, you do. Alright, so play this out. Use action stirrings. Find an Ulamog. In order. So guess we'll go ahead and -2 this to unlock our other. Yep. So settle the wreckage was a bit of a blowout. See what our opponent has here. Exactly have a lot of ways to deal with what's going on the board here. Guess you could cast Gideon, maybe. Okay. It's obnoxious. Cute, but obnoxious. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't think I can cast All is Dust. And pass. Okay. Yep, Tron player is being lucky. Guessing this is Cryptic Bounce. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Counter target spell, draw a card, sure. Okay. Sure. Detention Sphere here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Snapcaster, what? Ironically, we weren't in good shape there. Well, not as good a shape given the circumstances. Alright, get these out of there. Dark Tuscan Thought-Knots in. Perhaps Warping Whale. Oblivion Stone isn't quite as good in this matchup. All this dust is kind of eh. So, might be interested in Life from the Loam here. Am I cutting then? So undoubtedly have Planeswalkers, so I don't want to go too low on things. Maybe like cut one of those, cut one Wormcoil Engine. Try it like that. Be right back. Sorry about that, we're back. Alright, got a power plant in the graveyard. Opponent is just like absolutely doing nothing. Sure, get a forest. Let's see, go ahead and grab. Ballista. Okay. Still don't have tower. Play out a worm coil. Probably start countering stuff. Or they might just path us. Not surprisingly. I think if you want to go with a Life in the Loam plan, you might want like more copies of Worldbreaker here. Wonder if my opponent realizes like I don't care about Tron now. See if they like tap out for a Jace or something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ancient Stirrings. past your opponent. Guess this leaves them the ability to blow up our mine here. That's their game plan. And sure. I think we're definitely going to go get World Breaker here. Start trying to take our opponent off of white sources. Turn target permanent to its owner's hand. Cute. Long and grindy and boring, fun. Excuse me. Probably has Path or Snapcaster Path or... Yep. Nope. Pass. Hardly the most interesting game. Yep. Hardly the most interesting first match in the batch. Alright, let's go to game 3. Alright, so given how much our opponent showed us of all that random crap, probably interested in the second Ghost Quarter. Oblivion Stone, probably not so much. I don't even know if Warping Whale's worth it against what they're trying to do. Maybe Relics just a cycle. Worm Coil is another threat. Got like one Walking Ballista and try it like this. Opponent's got like Field of Ruins plus Ghost Quarters plus Spreading Seas. Does make it a little bit difficult to assemble Tron, even if their clock is slow as. Yes, I'd like to play first. It's possible I should have brought in Nature's Claim, but I mean, alright, so we have 3 Tron pieces. I think we go ahead and try this. Opponent kept their 7. Star go. Relic of Progenitus, huh? Okay, green. Card. Hardly the card we're looking for here. Probably gonna get Spreading Seas here. Oh, we're not. That's surprising. So if we hit Tron next turn, we'll be in decent shape. Mm-hmm. Seems about right. So we had 3 draw steps to hit Alien or a whatever. Now we're just going to get blue-whited out of the game. Sure. Pass. Hopefully we hit a running land so we can just start deploying stuff next turn. Another Field of Ruin. Yep. Obnoxious as always. Stony Silence. Okay. Immediately draw Chromatic Sphere. Yep, sounds about right. Alright, I've had enough of that misery. It's possible blue-white's gotten it to the point where that's a reasonable matchup now, with having, 10,000 pieces of Tron hate. So, the last time out I played Tron, it didn't go particularly well either. It went like 1-4 or something, so maybe that's the reason Tron's not really showing up as much as it used to. Hey everybody, hope you're enjoying hanging out. Hope you're having a good Saturday, Sunday, wherever you are. Playing a little bit of Modern here with some Tron. I'd like to play first. Yes, I would. Tower, cantrip, scrying. Think we'll keep, although it is a little bit close. Maybe we'll get lucky and hit one of the other Tron pieces in our next couple draws. Expedition map. Alright, so green. Draw a card. Bluestone. Sylvan Scrying. Grab. Mine. Field of Ruin, that's cute. Have I mentioned how obnoxious Field of Ruin is? Grab another mine, I guess. play out Walking Ballista here. It's unlikely our opponent will path this, but hey, you never know. Definitely understandable to see why Tron has been struggling if there's this many Field of Ruins and such running around. Like, blue-white used to be like almost a slam dunk easy matchup for Tron. Now it's just like 10,000 land destruction spells. I don't know, maybe I sideboarded incorrectly. We should have brought in Nature's Claim, but that just felt awful. Miserable, awful, no good, very bad Magic. Opponent's tanking a lot over there. Day of Judgment. Wow, sure. Expedition map. Play a map. Crack map. Go get power plants. Pass. Should not have played the forest there. Could have at least ran out Oblivion Stone. Squadron Hawks, not Squadron Hawks. However, will I grind through 10,000 creatures that don't really matter? So 6, 7... Sure. Another tower, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I really don't want to play Wormcoil here until I can crack Oblivion Stone in response to a... Yeah, I'm more than willing to take 2. So opponent struggles against Walking Ballista, so they're probably some type of Soul Sisters, Soul's Attendant, Martyr of Sands, deck nonsense. Sure. Alright, so they still had one more Squadron Hawk in their deck. Sure. So let's go ahead and blow up your board here. Expedition map, sure. This is 9, 11, 13, 14, 15. So I can play Worm Coil, play out Oblivion Stone. Guess we can go and run out Expedition map. Presume you have something like Path to Exile here or something. Which I guess we just let happen at this point. This deck can almost never be an Ugin. This deck can almost never be an Ulamog outside of Path to Exile. Oblivion Ring. Sure? Question mark? Yeah, it's fine by me. Oblivion Ring is not usually something you want to be using against this deck, but, you know, whatevs. Go get Sanctum here, so if we find another big threat. Eugene. Alright, so cast Eugene. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana this turn. Yes, I would like to go get a Ulamog. So 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 3, 4. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and -3 here. Get back my Worm Coil engine. Pass to my opponent. Sure. I think you were hoping we'd crack the Oblivion Stone here? Is that what was going on? Alright. So in my experience, the Tron matchups used to go very quickly, but man, this is... In the blue-white deck, at least I had a chance. This... Revios, sure. I'm seeing a white-black version of the deck right now. Tells you how poorly Soul Sisters and company have been doing. Alright, so you went and got Soul's Attendant, or Sarah Ascendant, and whatever. Alright, should have put a faint counter on my friend here. See if they use something like a path on their own dude. Fortunately, we can't cut you off white, so we're just going to go after those 2 lands. Probably have like Path to Exile here or something. Unsurprising. Alright, what you got over there? Sure. Okay, so your hand is Proclamation, Oblivion Ring, Gideon Jura, Day of Judgment, and Sarah Ascendant? Wow. Quite the hand. It requires what, 7? Yep. So the only thing my opponent can play here is either Proclamation of Rebirth or... Okay, well I guess they can play that, sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, all those dust a card, I guess. Yep. Pass to you, does help answer your Gideon, also answers your stupid... Oh, you're going for Gideon Jura, aren't you? How unfortunate. World Breaker, that's a card. Oop. So 9 plus 6, 15, 19 mana? So 4, 6, 7. Get back our Oblivion Stone. Go this, blow up your stupid Maria. Ah, that's all it took? Sure. So, we know our opponent has Oblivion Rings, and presumably they'll be bringing in multiple copies of Stony Silence, so we probably want some amount of the Nature's Claims. Beyond that, how much of our deck do we really want to change against their deck? Don't necessarily want to board out the Dismembers. Most of our stuff's pretty reasonable against them. Board out like one Dismember. Also could be interested in these relics, simply because they are a pseudo recursion deck. We cut like one Worm Coil Engine and go down the other Dismember, or is that a little risky? Cut just one relic. Only run one relic. It's not really something we're extremely interested in boarding in. I do like the look of this Sarah Ascendant Squadron Hawk, Ranger of Eos. Blood Baron of Escopia is an interesting one. Like, a lot of the removal that can kill it just doesn't exist. Like, Terminate, Path to Exile, can't touch it. Take multiple bolts to deal with it. There's enough random crappers in this deck that... It's an interesting thing to think about. Because I think there's a black-white life gain deck on the sideboard Reddit, or sideboard MTG Reddit, that looks like it needs a little bit of work, and that might be like one of the cards that could fit right in there. I think that's a card, I mean, yeah, it is 5 mana, but I think that's a card that in the right decks just doesn't see enough play. So because outside of sweepers and multiple burn spells, what card can actually answer that? Terminate can't, Fatal Push can't, Path to Exile can't, Maelstrom Pulse can't. It does get blanked by Tarmogoyfs and stuff. But it kept their 7. I think we have to mulligan this one. Gotta mulligan this one too. Hope we see a land on top. Nope. Just ready to get Stony silenced and die here. That said, our opponent does tank a long time on their turns. Yep. This feels like a Stony silence. Getting value off their flagstones, too. Wow, nothing. Of course, that being said, we likewise have nothing, so, you know. We have a bunch of 6, 7, and 10 drops in our hands, a bunch of spells we can't cast, so. It's possible I should even have gone to 4. Just Oblivion Ring. Yep. Seems about right. Guess our best draw is a Forest here. Oh, Karn. This is great. Yep. This is great. Oh dear. Yeah, cool. Let's go ahead and go to the next game. So they showed us a boatload of ghost quarters, so I'm more inclined to bring in some of my the Nature's Game claim. Nature's Claim game is really what we want to be playing. A couple of Thought Knots. Maybe the Life from Alone. Alright, well this is definitely felt like an exercise in futility. It's really fun sometimes to play fun, unique decks, but I mean, we're either obliterating our opponent or we're just like not casting anything. So, welcome to Tron. Tron is either very good or very crappy. So, how shall we proceed? Because the only card in their deck that's actually threatening is Sarah's Ascendant. Once they gain, a boatload of life. But they've got enough Ghost Quarters and nonsense that it's like very difficult to hang with them once they've assembled their stuff. Two pieces of Tron. Alright. Power plan here. Weathered Wayfarer. Alright. Let's use Walking Ballista to go ahead and kill that. Because if they get to untap with that, they can go find all the Ghost Quarters and stuff they want. Not interested in playing a game like that. Sure. Do you have any more lands? Okay, you do. Okay. It's a slow way of finding Tron, I guess. So they get to Ghost Quarter us, reveal their hand, and play their Ascendant this turn. Alright. Seriously? Now even the flipping Martyr of Sands decks are playing Surgical Extraction? Wow. No words can describe that. Other than, wow. Play one more match with good old Tron here. It's like, well, our opponent's deck was fun and cute, but apparently everybody just hates Tron that much. We'll keep. I mean, this is a slow Tron hand, but we do have turn 4 Tron. And Walking Ballista to interact if we have to. Dredge? Yep. Actual factual dredge. Okay, so they're going to get a Bloodghast and an Amalgam back here. Yep. Flagger rate's annoying here. Flashback. Oh, they're bringing back Scourge Devil. Okay. So, yeah. And then we're dead next turn. Karn's not going to be good enough here. Make our opponent play it out here, but we're pretty dead. Because just blood gas plus conflagrate kills us. Just go to the next game. Presume our opponent has the wherewithal to use that ability. Alright, we want the relics. Want the surgicals. Beyond that, what cards are we not interested in? These desk members are not particularly good. Wormcoil is okay, but not great. Karn's not fantastic in this matchup. We might want Thragtusk over like a second Karn. Try it like this. Guess I'd like to play first. Yeah, turn 3 Tron into Wormcoil seems decent. We're gonna sandbag the relic. So they're gonna have to take a relic here, most likely. Perhaps it would have been correct to play the relic out. Oh, take Wormcoil Engine. Alright. Play power plants. Play a sphere. Sack this for green, why not? Play out Ancient Stirrings. Find another power plant or mine. Opponent's still not dredging, so get to play a Worm Coil plus Fun next turn. Though to be fair, they do have the Ancient Grudge, so tower, huh? How do you like my turn? Alright, yeah, that'll do. Still think this is among our better setups. But, yeah. Definitely been a rough day. Tower, power plant. Surgical extraction. Yeah, sure, we'll keep it. See what you discard here. Thug and Amalgam. Hand is Neonate, Loam. Anything in their deck that I really care about other than Conflagrates? They have 2 Conflagrates in their deck, and then some Bloodghast, some Nature's Claims. Get that one, and that one. And your hand is Narcomoeba, Thug, Loam. Sure. So you get a Bloodghast back, sure. Pass. So the Conflagrate's going to be a nuisance, but it's whatever. Flashback Faithless thing's an interesting one. So they hit their other Conflagrate, which is annoying. Alright, so they're gonna start casting Stinkies here. What you got over there, friend? Sorry, this is hardly the most exciting broadcast we've ever had. Just very, very aggravating to be seeing through some of these games. Feels like a Conflagrate. Okay, put us to 10, sure. Oblivion Stone, huh? So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Play out Wormcoil Engine. Wormcoil Engine's gonna be okay. They just scoop it up to Wormcoil. So it feels like Dredge has a rough Tron matchup. Alright, I'll be back in 1 minute. we are back. So, the thing about Tron that we're seeing so far is the decks that really want to now pack enough hate can. Like when even the mono white control decks are packing, multiple Field of Runes, multiple Ghost Quarters, Stony Silences, Surgical Extractions. Excuse me. I almost think that this particular version of the deck almost has too many bombs. Like we could use like some amount of relics or some amount of like some amount of relics in the deck and like trim on like a Walking Ballista or an Ulamog or something. Maybe that's just being a little too results oriented here. We're on the draw. Is hand good enough? Probably not. In turn 4 Tron. Is that okay? I guess since they mulligan will keep. Oh, so Tron Mirror. Wonderful. Let's see what version of Tron they are first. I suppose I could have get Eldrazi Temple here or something. Nope, looks like they're regular Tron. Wow. So confirmed. Should have just cast Sylvan Scrying here. Oh, it's Green Tron versus Green Tron. Grab mine. Let's go ahead and Ghost Quarter them now. So they don't even have a reasonable chance of having Tron here. And they would have had Tron. Of course, that said, we don't have a lot going on here either. Guess we grab a Karn. Can't play that, so pass. Alright, the Tron Mirror match. Hardly exciting. Want this Ghost Quarter. Alright, so we want Ghost Quarter, we want Life from the Loam, we want these Surgical Extractions, we want these Thought Knot Seers. We do not want these Dismembers. This All Is Dust is kind of garbage. Worm Coil's not great. Thragtusk isn't particularly fantastic. We cut a Walking Ballista. I guess actually it makes less sense than like Walking Ballista, because Ugin isn't doing a whole lot in this matchup. Guess we go ahead and keep this. Hopefully we find Ghost Quarter here. Power plants. Tower. Let's go ahead and grab power plant here. Next turn we'll look for Ghost Quarter again. And hopefully Sullen Scrying. Stirrings, looking for Ghost Quarter. We found Ghost Quarter. Any order. Play out Ghost Quarter. Wait for your draw step. Take out your tower here. Searchable extraction your tower. So they have Crumble to Dust Expedition map. Nature's Claim. They have lands 3 and 4. So it looks like neither one of us are going to be playing with Tron here. See if they have anything. Blood Sun is an interesting one. Seal of Primordium, Ulamogs. So they have basically all the lands they need locked up. So we're going to get Crumble to Dusted. Really wish that was a different Tron piece. Sylvan Scrying for sure. Yep. Looks like we both had our version of land destruction. Let's take the power plant out of our hand. Since I'm playing out the map, because we know they have the Nature's Claim in hand, so. What you find here? Karn. Alright. Got several turns before we have to deal with that one. If our opponent wants to use their whatever on that, I guess we're okay with this. So now their hand is Karn. Okay, so we're at land number 6. Hopefully we hit a land next turn. Alright, so hopefully this Thought Knot's good enough. Ulamog, Nature's Claim, and Karn. Well, let's take Karn. So your hand is Land, Nature's Claim. Blood Sun. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, getting close. If we miss on a land drop for one turn, sure. Alright, I mean... Yep, I think the other Walking Ballista's already gone, so I'm not sure we actually have any outs here. Let's see what's even still in our deck. So we still had a couple of Karns, a Surgical... Alright, yep, that's the game. So the only real decision we had right there was, maybe we should have taken the Ulamog. But he had to hit land over his next two draw steps, or ways to find lands. And we took the cantrip away. So maybe I should have just taken Ulamog, but cantrips are so much more dangerous because they have so many live draws at that point. I don't know. Maybe it was incorrect the line I took, but about the only thing we could have done there. Alright, that was only game 2. Sitting here going, rambling on. I don't think Nature's Claim is really worth it in this matchup, is it? Ulamogs don't, or Ugins don't do anything. I've got Tron. Sure. See what our opponent decides to do here. Grab Ghost Quarter here. This is the fun and interesting Tron matchup. Alright, so 2 and 2. We still have the 3-2 dream. So like match 1 against blue-white, it's possible I wasn't aggressive enough in mulliganing game 3. The game against Ameria was just stuck on 2 lands, didn't draw a 3rd land, then get ghost quartered, surgicaled. Not much more to it than that. The Dredge matchup feels like a pretty good matchup for Tron because they don't really have any relevant disruption for our Tron lands, and they apparently can't ever beat Wormcoil or Ugin. And then when we bring in sideboard hate, it just gets that much worse. Then match the Tron mirror match is basically whoever lands Karn first, or you have that bizarro game 2 where each player lost the ability to make Tron. So, I mean, that game 3 was just Tron. It was going to be Karn downtick on your land. Next turn, Ghost Quarter one of your other Tron pieces, surgical it, and then, pretty much their ability to fight back ends at that point. So Tron is obviously very, 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 very dependent upon Tron, and if you can disrupt it in a meaningful way while also applying pressure, the deck has trouble functioning. I mean, it's pretty much how to beat Tron in a nutshell. Alright, yes, I'd love to play first. Two parts Tron and Ancient Stirrings to dig, so sign me up. Hopefully we'll get there. Oh well, mirror match again. Expedition map. Looking for a Karn. Guess I take a tower anyway. Past our opponent. Should have played Expedition map there. Looks like we're up against Eldrazi Tron here. So we have mine, we need power plant, correct. Let's play out the Ghost Quarter to protect our stuff here. Probably have to go get Urza's, or Eldrazi, whatever here. Even if you have a Thought Knot, it's kind of whatever. Probably take Wormcoil here when we get to dismember your stuff. It's All bad news, friend. I think Ugin's the only card that's not relevant in this decision. We took Dismember, huh? Yep. Don't have another Eldrazi Temple. Yep. Tower. Okay, now they have another Eldrazi Temple. Alright, so how do you beat this combination of stuff? I was gonna say, I guess you could go get Ghost Quarter here, but I think you're pricing to go and get an Eldrazi Temple. Alright, I mean, guess you're trying to work towards Tron. No, they're not Thunk. Sure. Get to take my Ugin, the least relevant of my cards. Go grab what? Horizon Canopy, play Horizon Canopy, crack it. Another Eugene. So now you have to chump block. Go to 4. Alright, I just concede. Alright, so we're interested in this Thragtusk. Interested in this Ghost Quarter. Am I interested in the whole surgical nonsense? Probably not. Get these Ugins out of my deck. Get this All's Dust out of my deck. Some Nature's Claims might be relevant. Maybe. You just want the surgicals for the full value plan. I'll try it like this. Sand doesn't do much, so guess we have 2/3 of Tron rolled up, so I guess we'll keep it. but not the most exciting hand in the world. See what you got here. Ghost Quarter, huh? Sure. Took Karn. Interesting. Hopefully they'll go after, like, the mine here. Okay. Sure. And bring her Dismember, Hanger Backwalker. Chalices, Dismembers, Inbringers. No plays this turn, that's unfortunate. Another hand is Dismember, Hanger Backwalker, and question mark. Hopefully you don't have another Thought-Knot Seer here. Pass. Alright, so thoughts on the deck. Like, the deck's still good. Not gonna sit here and say it's not. But it's like, even the decks that you should be beating up on pretty soundly, like Blue-White Control, no longer given matchups. Amiria, which we should have been able to beat, it's not a great matchup either. And then 2 pseudo Tron mirrors, and then the Dredge matchup. Certainly a deck we're going to explore again. Was a little frustrating at points there, playing against that much graveyard hate, or that much land hate, I should say. With Damping Matrix coming into the format, Tron's also going to get a little bit worse. So we'll see how many slots that gets to occupy, because it gets to hit both them, Storm, to a certain extent, decks like Burn. So Tron's probably going to get a little bit worse with the printing of Damping Matrix. As far as the deck, can't help but feel there's maybe 1 or 2 too many high drops in the deck, like maybe 1 too many Walking Ballistas, 1 too many Ulamogs. I feel like you want a couple more relics or something in the main deck that kind of cycles to find your stuff a little bit better. There's a higher threat density when you hit Tron, but this deck has a little bit harder time hitting Tron because you don't have those 1 or 2 extra cantrips in the deck. Beyond that, I mean, not sure a whole lot else you can do. The Life from the Loam package is interesting. I don't know if it's better than, say, Crucible of Worlds or something. I'm thinking if you're wanting to run multiple Life and Loams, you probably want to run World Breakers, so you have a threat you could recur. Beyond that, I mean, if your opponent's ready for Tron, or if they're an uninteractive deck like Storm, it can be a problem. If your opponent's not ready for Tron and you get Tron on turn 3, deck's pretty tough to beat. I mean, that fact hasn't changed. So, thanks for tuning in. This has been Dust for Dust on Gaming.